So good evening. Let's say hello. Good evening. Are we there?
Hello.
Yes, good evening, Fred.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I know it is after work, and we really appreciate that you have been able to make time. We do not take anything for granted. And again, welcome to this session, which is meant to be able to share a few things with this evening. So I want to give Purity 1 minute so that she can greet us and share something briefly. Then we can be able to proceed with the session. Again, thank you very much for making time.
Thank you very much, Senior. Good evening, everyone. My name is Purity Mureithi. I'm a lecturer at KCA University and also the manager of GLPM Technologies, and we are partners with Secunet Technology, which are the two companies that are running with the SME Cyber Toolkit. Now, we engage SMEs on cybersecurity and forensic services, anything to do with the penetration testing in your company, vulnerability assessment, training of employees. As we go along, you realize that insider threat is usually very high, and most of the things that happen in cybersecurity is just because somebody ignored something. They saw an email, didn't recognize what it was, and apparently it is a spam email, and they opened, clicked on a link, and that's how your information gets exposed. So we are here to help give SMEs tips on how to secure their businesses. And therefore, I want to welcome all of you to this session. Feel free to ask questions and to engage us. Our business e-cards will also be shared on the WhatsApp group right after the meeting so that you can contact us even after that. And thank you very much for taking time to attend this session. Thank you.
So thank you, Purity. Thank you for taking time. And we really appreciate again. And the necessity for us to have this session this evening is because of an acute shortage in terms of skills, the necessity for skills for our small and medium enterprises. And when we talk of the SMEs, we are referring to companies which have maybe from one computer up to 100 computers. Annual turnover from, let's say, from $1,000, $2,000 up to around $100,000. And I want to appreciate, we have also people joining us all the way from the US, meaning that they are joining us, and it's almost past midnight. So we want to appreciate everyone. And this has come out of a necessity, and we represent Secunet Technologies and other partners. And out of our serving of our customers, we have seen a lot of struggles as they try to keep up with the fast changing nature of technology. The technology is very dynamic, and everyone, courtesy of COVID-19, of course, everyone is now trying to adopt technology, to move to cloud. The competition is very high, and in Africa we have seen rapid growth in terms of digital. We have seen digital transformation. Businesses are trying to grasp this whole aspect of trying to take in technology as a key enabler to their growth. Someone has one computer, they are consultants, they interact with customers through emails. I'm trying to paint the picture so that we see where we are coming from. And this is not just any other virtual Zoom session. No, our intention is to make sure that we are able to move with you. As we move with you, you are able to know where am I as a consultant. I just have one computer. Another one, I have an office which has, let's say, 5 people. You have an office that has, let's say, 10, 20 people. And you might be asking yourself, am I really safe? Are my people safe? Also, are you sure if your customers are safe as well? Can you guarantee them of confidentiality and integrity of their data? Just about 3 weeks ago, one of a financial provider, that is ASACO, they were breached about three to 4 weeks ago. And how it happened, it was somehow very easy for the cyber criminals, and it is becoming very easy for them to attack organizations by the fact that it is now very easy to acquire the tools. It's very easy to acquire these tools. Actually, you don't have to run the tools. You just need to have desire to run these tools. And when you go online to the internet, you can just rent a server, and someone is going to configure the tools for you. And all you need to do is just to have like the basic IT technical skills and have some desires to wreak havoc. And before you know it, you are sending ransomware links across the nation and all that. So how these people are attacked, it got me thinking that, wait for a minute. These people have invested in 1, 2, 3, but they are not able to detect anything at all. So they were not able to detect even how these people came in. The person who was targeted, they just received an email, just a very innocent email. The person seated there, a very innocent person, they clicked on that link. And when they clicked, something was installed into the machine. That malware got into the office network. And before you knew it, you know, all the files were encrypted and they became inaccessible. And looking at them, I looked at their IT team, quite a big organization with a turnover of around $200,000. But when I looked at them, I looked at the technical team. With our team, we sat down with the technical team. They were panicking all through. We also sat down with the management, and the board of directors almost fired their team, their IT team. And the justification was, wait for a minute. We have already invested in antivirus for these people. We have bought antivirus. We have, I don't know, a service provider who comes to check if our internet is running. And what is the justification for us not to fire the IT team? Also, they were going for the person whose computer was somehow breached. This was a lady, a very innocent lady. She just clicked on a link, and how the link came in, they shared a very interesting blog in that link. And it was very innocent, a very innocent looking link. And she clicked. So we sat down with the management and we told them, wait for a minute. You cannot fire these people. Number one, have we ever trained them? Do they even know how a virus looks like or how a ransomware looks like? And that is how we were able to save that team. And, we can share more and more and more issues. So we are adopting technology. It is becoming sweeter every day because the technology and the internet is becoming cheaper every day. It is becoming easier now. You can share a link within WhatsApp, and before you know it, you can share even the company information. You can share a quotation just within the premises of the WhatsApp, and it becomes very, very easy. You can go to Facebook. The other day, a company's page, which has more than almost over 50,000 followers. The admin received a link from somewhere, and the link was telling her that you have been sharing, information that is not appropriate for your audience. And because of that, we are gonna shut down your page. And within 24 hours, you are supposed to update the page. And, as human beings, you panic when you receive something like this. And what she did was just to click on that link without knowing that she already gave out the information, the company page information. And next day, they see this guy sharing some porn, a link on the company Facebook page. And before recovering that page, it took almost close to 2 or 3 months before they got back the page. And you can imagine the damage, the reputation, because there was no way that they're gonna use the same page to say or to give out another form of information, or to say that we have been breached. So that is why we have thought that it is important for us to be hosting weekly sessions. And our key target is those people who are in the SME, those people who are in business, consultants. These are the people who are, running these organizations. These are the people who they are part of these organizations. First, to be able to upgrade the quality, or to enhance the quality of the knowledge they have when it comes to cybersecurity. And through our interaction with many SMEs, they look at cybersecurity from a cost perspective. Why should I use $1,000 to be able to sponsor my team, or even myself, or even to sponsor a user awareness training, whereas that money can be used to maybe to enhance our quality of service, because there's going to be a return on investment which is tangible. So at all times, if you walk to most of the SMEs, you will find out that they consider antivirus as cybersecurity. When you ask them, they consider cybersecurity as a cost. They don't consider it as an investment. And therefore, you find out that they have a person who have registered a domain for them, and this person is managing their domain, managing their hosting, and they don't even know where this person's office is. They just communicate through WhatsApp or through emails. And imagine if someone was to try and steal credentials, maybe for this company's domain, like control panel, it becomes so easy. It becomes so easy. And the moment they access the domain, most of the time, most of the SMEs, they host their emails on their domains. I have seen a couple of times when some of the SMEs, they are unable to pay for services. And these guys, they run away. They take off with the login credentials for their domains. And the customers, the SME, have to pay. So that is the justification for us to start on a journey, and for you to be able to draw benefit, to draw value from these sessions. We shall be having them on a weekly basis. Every Thursday from 7:30 EAT, that is East African time, up to around 8:30, just for 1 hour. Why are we doing this? So that we can be able to upgrade the understanding from the SME, that is both maybe the executives. So these are the owners, the founders of these institutions. Also the technical people. So these are the people, maybe an SME has one IT person. So we try to upgrade their understanding. And also the people who work there, these are the first line of defense. So if they are well equipped in terms of the skills, they become your first line of defense. If you work in an SME, for instance, in an office where you use computers, you use internet, you log into the cloud, to Microsoft Teams, to Google Meet and all that. So you need to be well equipped. You need to know when am I at an attack? When am I experiencing a phishing attack or a phishing email or even social engineering? So this means that it is a process that we have to somehow be patient in terms of upgrading the quality of this knowledge. And you know what? We will not just be sharing some theories. So we have a number of scenarios that we have encountered on the ground, and we'll be sharing these scenarios. Then you can be able to look at these scenarios and you align them as per your needs. For instance, you are coming from an insurance industry, so you can be able to look at a scenario and you try to see what can you be able to learn and what can you be able to apply so that it works for you. Why? Most of the time, when we are called upon as a company, because we do respond to cybersecurity incidents, we have incidents response. When we are called upon to respond to an issue, one key element that is always visible is the panic, the level of frustrations, the level of helplessness, even from the IT people. Even at times, they are almost crying. And because they don't even understand what are we supposed to do. When you come to the people, the normal users of computers, the softwares, so they are also helpless because they do not know what they're supposed to do. So the more we upgrade your information, your knowledge, that is the quality of your knowledge in a very simplified way, it becomes easier for you to be able to make a decision. And we shall also be going through some practical demos. So if we talk of phishing, if we talk of social engineering, what does it mean for an end user who do not understand anything technical? And do not say that, no, cyber do not matter for me or to me because I'm a consultant in this. So what could be hackers looking for if they were to target me? I want to guarantee it to you. I know that the hackers, these cyber criminals, you are dealing with very highly experienced young people. Some of them, of course, are old, but most of them, they are highly experienced, but they do not have manners. If they can be able to get to your company, if they can be able to get to your consultancy firm, for instance, they will have a reason to attack and they will be able to access your information. Allow me to share the screen in the next few minutes. And I want to ask to make a kind request. Number one, we shall be sharing these PowerPoint presentations after the session. And also we shall be sharing a link. We have a WhatsApp group for SME Cybersecurity Toolkit. So the reason for the group is that we have been sharing cybersecurity related information on a daily basis. So like today, we've shared on passwords. So why are passwords important? And we share such knowledge so that you can be able to learn as an individual. So you can apply the same knowledge for your social media. We also share the same so that you upgrade your knowledge as you work for the SME or the company. And also, if you run one as a founder or something like that, the same knowledge is going to assist you. Also, if you have any question regarding cybersecurity, now we are into data protection, now we are into computer misuse and cybercrime act, when you are looking at Kenyan environment, and we have a lot of penalties here and there. We have, so we are now talking of crowdsourcing. We have seen young people, use digital activism. So as a company, what are some of the threats through this digital activism that you need to be aware of? And how can you be able to avoid these? And some of them are quite expensive. I wanted to share that every time most of these SMEs are breached, when you go to assist them in terms of incident response, they do not negotiate in terms of the costs. So if you tell them that to be able to assist you to clean up and help you with business continuity, we are going to charge you $3,000. So it is not a negotiable process because they are desperate. Customers are calling. Customers are saying, no, we cannot access our online service. Maybe you have maybe you are a consultant and you interact with your customers on emails. You cannot access your emails. Your emails has been breached. Someone has already downloaded your strategies for the next 5 years and you start in to lose. So that is why it is important before you experience a cyber breach. That is why we are here, so that we can upgrade this specific knowledge. And guess what? One or two people are also going to benefit from something that we call a cyber health check. So if you have an SME, if you run a company, if you are a consultant, we'll be able to look at what you do. Then we'll be able to advise you. And all this is going to be for free, just because you made time to attend this session. So allow me to just a minute. Allow me to run this. Can we confirm that we can be able to see? Can we see the PowerPoint?
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Thank you, thank you. As we do that, I request also, you can also maybe introduce yourself briefly on chat. You can just maybe mention your name or the name of your organization. And yeah, just, let's interact. Let's interact as we learn. So a number of things that you are going to look at. So these are some of the statistics which are out there. And when we look at the SMEs, and I will just share a few of them. Like if you look at number one, 43% of most of cyber breaches. When we talk of cyber breaches, these are the issues that compromises the SMEs. You get to the office, you cannot access the email server. You get to the office, you cannot be able to share your files. Someone breaches your phone through SIM swap. And what they do is that they access your phone book and they take your photo from the internet. We are in that era of artificial intelligence. Someone can just download your photo from LinkedIn and they create a fake WhatsApp profile and they add your entire phone book into their system or into their account. And they start inboxing these people, asking for some money that they are in some sort of an emergency. And guess what? People are going to send money because they are using your profile photo. And at times, people may not confirm if really it's your number. So you can become a victim, not for anything, or not because you are ignorant, but because we are in that era of cyber breaches, courtesy of rapid growth in technology. So if you look at the other one, let's say, 30% of small businesses consider phishing attacks to be the biggest cyber threat. Yes, almost every cyber breaches that we have seen, cyber security attacks that we have seen, most of them, they have a component of phishing, of social engineering. So these people, they build some malwares in form of viruses, in form of ransomware, but they ask themselves, how are we going to deliver this to this potential target? So they just search for your emails online. So many sources that they can be able to get your information. And they have their own infrastructure, they have their own servers. So they said this information to you. And because the capacity to discern, the capacity to detect that this is not the right content, So they may go to your LinkedIn and they are going to see probably you went to XY university. So they are going to generate a phishing attack. And especially if you are the founder or you are the CEO, they can spend some time trying to gather more information about you. And before you know it, they have a lot of information. Then they create a specific attack, a specific phishing email. And phishing is just like the other phishing where we use a hook. So they send an email that is very targeted to you because they know most likely you are going to click on that. And that is the first point of interaction with these cyber criminals. So they said a lot. They use, let's say, like now they are using AI to send to so many people. They expect maybe 1%, 2% to respond. And you might be that 1%. And that 1% might be the reason why you are going to experience another 1 year of, depression. Currently, a lady walked into a cyber cafe, a very practical example in Nairobi. She walked into a cyber cafe, a very innocent lady. She accessed her email, Gmail, and she sent some materials somewhere. And I think she logged out or she never logged out. But there was something installed in that computer. This is a public machine, meaning that, anyone can just access the machine. And after leaving the machine, she never knew that someone had installed a keylogger. A keylogger is a small piece of software. And when it is installed in your machine, it can be able to collect more information. When you type, it can record your passwords and all that. There were some safety measures that she was supposed to have already applied to the email, but she had not done it. Some guys came, collected her email, used the same machine, and sent some terrorism materials, I think to Iran or something like that. And guess what? The lady is now she's fighting some extradition cases, about to be extradited to the US. You can imagine. And she used to work for a bank. So do not ask yourself, how can I become a victim? So this lady just walked into a cyber cafe and she sent an email, and that was it. That was the point of entry for these people. And if you look at some of these statistics as shared by Cyber Ventures, so they are projecting by 2025, 2026, the total value of cybercrime is going to surpass 6 trillion US dollars. The amount of money that we'll have lost potentially by that year. You can imagine, and you see, if you lose 10,000 or $1,000, for instance, you start to be added into these statistics. So it means that almost cybercrime is going to be like the highest career or industry that is generating a lot of losses globally. So some of the top cyber threat which affect SME, I might not go through all of them. Number one, cyber attacks, and there are different types of cyber attacks. So if you are running a computer, you can just click on a link and you are going to install unwanted thing into your computer. We are talking of artificial intelligence cyber threats. Someone just said something to you, and when you hover your mouse on that link, something happens. We are talking of deep fake. Let's say you are a founder of a startup. Someone takes your photo. They can study your voice and they record and they put you in an environment that you are not part of. They can put you in a very compromising situation and they start, spreading all over the internet. And we have things like third party. So most of us in SME, we outsource most of technology services. You are not running your own internet, so you outsource the internet services to a third party. Let's say you have an internet provider, so you have granted them access to your company, to your office. So there's some trust, that you have given to them, but you do not know what they carry with those flash disks, for instance, or USB drives. Let's say you are hosting your domain outside on a cloud. to someone that you have never met. And these guys, they can decide to log into your emails because they have access to your domain. So they can just be monitoring your emails. Let's say you have, you have a need for, let's say, a software that is hosted by a third party. So you do not know how much access they have to your data. You have access to an invoicing system on the cloud. Why? Because it's somehow affordable for you. But you don't know how much information that is being lost. We are in that dispensation of knowledge-based economy where the quality of the knowledge that you have, it gives you a competitive advantage. And if I learn on your what you do as a business, because I am hosting a service for you, then I can take that as an advantage to me, and I use the same information that you use to be able to grow my own business. So there are other types of cyber threats. When we now contextualize to our nation, we have a number of things that you need to know as an SME. We will be doing a series of sessions. We shall be handling the data protection compliance process. How do you comply? If you have a small budget of, let's say, $200, how can you be able to comply to the Data Protection Act? You make sure you don't just have the certificate, but you have that sort of documentations and all that. So you need to know there is Data Protection Act. You need to know we have Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act. So this was operationalized, I think, about 3 or 4 months ago. And then as an SME, there are some requirements that you need to do. You are required to have a Chief Information Security Officer, especially if you are in anything to do with finances, financial industry or insurance. You are needed to have a security operations center. So how do you kickstart these processes? How do you have some sort of plans? So these are the things that you are going to guide you in them consequently and subsequently. Also, we have something we are calling Kenya Digital Master Plan. It is a document that is there, you can search it. And there are things which are captured, and they capture where as a nation that we are going when we are looking at it from a digital perspective. So that whatever you see there, you can be able to align with what you are doing and be able to know what am I supposed to do to be able to align to that digital master plan. We have digital economy blueprint, we have the digital transformation, and the last one, which we are going to guide at least two SMEs from this session. An IT policy. Some of you do not have an IT policy. Also, information security policy. You can have one document called IT policy. You can have it as an information security policy. You can have them separately, or you can have just one document. So why should you care about cybersecurity, either as an individual, as an SME, as a consultant? Number one, it gives you credibility. Credibility as an organization, such that where we are going to, customers are going to be very, we are working with a customer who is very much informed. And this customer will know if you have been breached online. So can they trust you with their data? Can they trust you with the confidentiality and the integrity of their data? Let's say a lawyer, for instance. Can a customer entrust you with very confidential information about themselves? Even doctors, can they be trusted? So that is the question that we shall be asking ourselves. So secure your information assets. Let's say you have a phone, a mobile phone. Let's say you have a computer. Let's say right now you are following this through a computer. How sure are you that your computer is not breached? How sure are you that as you browse online, there is nothing that is monitoring your activities? You may say that, why should I bother? But they are going to monitor your activity, and they will know when you are making an online banking a transaction, and they divert your transaction. These things we have seen them. Also, protect your reputation. We are in that dispensation. The more you experience cyber breaches and cyber attacks, the more it affects your reputation. So it gets to a point where you are going to look for an investor because you have been running as a consultant, then you have grown. You now have 5 people, you now have 20 people. You are now looking for an investor. I know a number of companies and they lost access to investors because they failed on the part of the cyber test because they had been breached twice or thrice. And these investors could not trust them with their money. And the last one, you have an improved focus. You can imagine all the time you are experiencing cyber attacks. So there's no focus. You are using money. Some forensic people come, they are asking you for this amount of money to be able to assist you. So the reason why many SMEs, we have seen they are unable to kickstart this process. Number one, they do not have that mindset of security mindset or the culture. For instance, as a company or as a consultant, you have developed a number of cultures. You have a culture that you have inculcated into what you do. So we do not have that mindset. So we are trying to upgrade our mindset even through these sessions so that we can try to convince you that cybersecurity matters for you. The more profit matters for you, the more cybersecurity matters for you. Why? The same profit can be affected if there is a cyber breach. The same peace of mind that you are experiencing in your mind, it can be affected by a cyber breach. As a founder, as a CEO, as an employee who works in an SME. And number two, they don't look at cyber as an investment. So most SMEs, they look at it from a cost. We are using $1,000 for us to train our employees. Why should we use that money? Why should we not use the money to invest back into the business? So we want to convince you over time that as you invest in cybersecurity, it is an investment. The returns are going to be realized the same way that you invest in the business. Also, we trade off the technology usage versus security. So we think the more we use more technology, we have an app that we are using. We have a website that we are using. We have an online portal that we are using. We have emails on Microsoft, and we were told that Microsoft is the biggest and they cannot be hacked. We have Google. Google is the biggest data center. They have 50 data centers across the world, so we cannot be breached. That is a lie, because cyber attack is not only when you lose money. For instance, we have seen their data centers being down for 3-4 hours. Even Microsoft the other day, they were down, I think, for almost a number of hours, and many customers, they were quite affected. And of course, most SMEs, they are preoccupied with the operational aspect of the business. You want to know, is the email running? Is this running? The customers are working? Is the system working? So we have so many compartments of small technologies that we are using. And that makes us feel somehow we are secure. The person who is hosting your domain, even though if you were to ask here right now, how many of us, if you have, let's say, a domain and a website, how many of us have conversed with your domain providers around cybersecurity? Have you ever asked them about what they have done to secure your domain from someone reading their emails? So this is what we are talking about. And despite all these escalating issues of cyber, we are willing to be able to assist some of these SMEs, assist them in form of knowledge, in form of demonstrating. We shall be having practical sessions where you can be able to see how does phishing email, how do they generate these phishing emails? How do they generate, let's say, a ransomware? How do you, when you click, what happens in your machine? So I think this is the last PowerPoint. So what are we supposed to do? What are some of the best practice? These are things that you can be able to to use or even to set up from today. Number one, as an SME, make sure that you have, you initiate this conversation. Don't even think about the red program. Initiate this conversation. Just if you are the found, if you work, let's say for an SME, initiate with your colleagues, guys, based on what we do. We provide consultancy in accounting. So have we considered if we were breached, if our emails were breached, have we considered what are we supposed to do? Number two, training. You can train yourself, and I want to commend you for attending the session. Compliance, number three. It is now a requirement in Kenya and actually in most of East African countries to be able to comply to, especially the data protection law. The other one, build a cyber incident. Be sure that you will be breached. And when you are breached, how much prepared are we? Do you have an IT person who is on full time? If not, build a relationship with an IT person, with an IT company, with a cybersecurity company that can help you to respond, especially when, let's say, the regulator is on your neck because you have been breached. You do not know what you're supposed to say. So a cybersecurity or an IT consultant can be very valuable to you. Sometimes they may not even ask for money initially. They just need to guide you accordingly. The other day, we responded to a cyber incident, and the board of directors requested us to conduct a counseling session for the board of directors. Like they were so much into panic, the board of directors. Why? They have investors on the board. They have customers, very high premium customers, and they have been breached. So they were so much into panic. And they asked us, we had to look for psychologists to come and do some counseling sessions. So another one is updating your softwares, even your own machine. When is the last time that you updated your computer? When did you activate maybe automatic update for your Windows machine, for instance? Are you running antivirus right now? These are very practical things. Backing up your data at a personal level. When did you last back up your data? Have you considered backing up your data? Even as an organization, you know, you have outsourced IT services, but do you know if these people back up your data? If they back up your data and let's say something happens and you lose the data or access to the data, how easy is it to get back this data? So if also you are in SME, you can have phishing simulations. We are going to have phishing simulations. We will ask for your emails right along, of course, from your own consent, so that we can be able to send some phishing emails. Then you try to see how easier is it to be breached along the social engineering aspect. So I think with that, we come to the end of the session, the presentation, and I want to give to Martin for 1 minute, just 1 minute. He introduced himself. Martin Rogers. He introduced himself. He is one of the consultants that we have worked with, and also he will be in today's because we are trying to convince more consultants to come on board and assist most of the SMEs. Sometimes our services in cyber, somehow they might be costly, but when we come into such a framework, you get that the cost that you may be charged is just a fraction of what you're supposed to, to be charged, for instance. So Martin, you can take a minute or two to just give us a word of counsel as we almost wind up the meeting.
Frederick, thank you so much for this opportunity. And to the entire team in this particular session, it is really a good step actually towards awareness for cybersecurity in SMEs. So we really appreciate for this initiative. My name is Martin Rogers Anangwe. the head of compliance for Sintel Security Print. We deal with manufacturing of SIM cards, scratch cards, bank checks, and ATM. So clearly tells why I have this interest also as an individual in this. Besides that, I am the founder and CEO for Audits and Assurance Consult, and we've been working closely with SecUnits in matters information security or cybersecurity. I think critical and of most importance is the importance of ISO in all these discussions, because ISO management systems, and more so those that are directed to information security management, like ISO 27001, has a myriad of benefits that SMEs can reap from. So I'm not sure how much more the audience is informed when it comes to ISO standards for information security. But as we go on with these discussions, I hope members will start identifying themselves with ISO 27001, which is a standard for information security management system. We have other standards, of course, which are recognized internationally, such as PCI DSS, that is for payment card industry. We have other standards such as the NIST 853. There are a myriad of them, but at the end of the day, they serve the same objective. And the benefit of ISO out of all these standards that could be out here is it's relevant to organizations of any sizes. Yes, there could be cost aspects to when it comes to implementing and having this certified for our organizations. But at the end of the day, the cost will always be relative to the size of the institution. And there's no small or too small or too large organization that cannot be certified to ISO 27001. So just to cut this short, because I know eventually we'll have more sessions to discuss on how you can take advantage of these standards to standardize information security or other aspects within your organization. ISO 27001 allows us to establish information security management system that meets the international standards that we have around here. And in that case, you're able to build confidence within your own internal teams, build confidence with your customers that, yes, you have implemented the necessary frameworks to ensure information security. So, Fred, I wouldn't really go into much details of this, hoping that in future we'll have sessions of awareness on how we can take advantage of such standards. But cutting it short, I think it's a good initiative that we are coming together to discuss on cybersecurity and other matters that are related to it. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Martin, for that. Thank you. Thank you very much also for being at the forefront to be able to promote cyber safety for the organization and also for the people who work within the organization. And also, any organization is as strong when it comes to cyber. It is as strong as the most weakest person within the organization. So if you are the weakest person in the organization, then you break that chain because you are a potential threat. You can be used to get into the organization. Someone can send an email to you, and because the quality of the knowledge on how to identify a potential threat, somehow we can say that it is somehow wanting, and that is what we want to be able to sort out. So if we have any question, I can see that our time is really gone. We were supposed to get up to 8:30. But if someone maybe has a question, and if you have a question, if you have a comment, you can share. You can maybe raise up your hand and share. as we now almost wind up the meeting. And again, I want to appreciate each one of you for making time. You know, it's evening now. You are supposed to be maybe out of job and all that, but making time to be able to learn, we really appreciate. We have also shared a link. You can join, and that group is purely for sharing of the information. So we share about how to make your password secure. So you got to learn as an individual, and also as let's say as a company, you can ask any question there. Let's say you experience a cyber breach and you need people to be able to respond and you know, accurately guiding your team through, assisting them to comply to the current data protections and all that. So if you have any question, you can raise up your hand for 1 minute. Anyone with a question, you can raise up your hand. So in the interest of time, let's have Purity for 1 minute. Then we are going to wind up the meeting. So Willie Kimani is saying, I believe this information about SME is quite useful in safeguarding, just a minute, I read it, in safeguarding organizations on the safety of data. Yes, for us, is more of, we first make sure that we upgrade our understanding. We are not here like to make a sale or to convince you to buy, to buy a service from us. So for us is to make sure we first upgrade our understanding, so that when you now want to partake a specific service, if that is is needed, then you can do it from a point of knowledge. We have seen, maybe for a minute, we have seen many people sell cybersecurity solutions, very expensive, and even the one who is buying, they do not know what they are buying. So they are told that the solution is going to even arrest a hacker, and they are going to take the hacker to the court, and they are going to, and those are all lies. And the reason that they lie to us as SME is that we have not yet taken time to comprehend what is the necessity of these cyber solutions. So someone sells you a solution and they tell you that the solution is a data protection, is this and that, but you first need to know and understand. Then you can be able to understand, to figure it out. Is this thing a necessity for me? Do I need cyber security as an individual private consultant? Do I need it as a company? Let's say you have 5 computers in the office. Where what cyber do I need? Maybe I need antivirus installed in my machine, my domain name, and we are going to share. We are going to share the we are going to share the recording as well as the PowerPoint, and also we have a Word document that you can translate it according to your own environment. So it is a very simplified document that is contextualized for our Kenyan environment. You can be able to go through it, and we shall also be doing some reports which you can be able to follow up in a very simplified way. That the intention is to make sure we upgrade our understanding from SME perspective, so that we can try to stop some of these cyber breaches, and we can make sure that you have the peace of mind. So Purity for a minute, then we close on the meeting.
Thank you very much, Fred, for the wise words of counsel on cybersecurity, and because you put it across in a way that we've all been able to understand. Whether you're a non-techie, I believe now you have an understanding on why you need to gain from these sessions. We look forward to always meeting each one of you and welcome more of your company team members so that all of us gain their understanding. Security is very interesting because see, when you're being called, that's tuma kwa hii number, for those of you who understand that language, and I know it has happened to several of us, it is all about cyber security, and we're going to give you insights on all these and how to prevent yourselves from being victims of cyber threats. However, just to make it clear is that you can never be 100% secure. We are just trying because things will keep evolving. Technology is evolving every day. So we keep improving on ourselves and on what we have invested in. So we have learned today that when you're investing, or rather when you're paying for a cybersecurity service, it is actually an investment, so that we don't look at it like we are just using money in the ICT department, these security issues. And you've also heard we are pulling together several service providers who can be able to help you. You heard from Martin, he's very good in the standards and especially ISO 27001. So he can be able to assist your organization in making sure that you standardize among very many other service providers who are going to be coming on board. Thank you for taking the time. We look forward to meeting you again next week. Thank you, Senior. Over to you.
Thank you for that. Someone is inboxing that they need to start off in cybersecurity. What are they supposed to do? Even though we may not have time because we are 7 minutes late, yes, it is possible for you to venture into cybersecurity as a career, and this is the best time. It is not a career that is a preserve of specific people. You can come from a lawyer perspective. You can come from any consultant, whether you are an architecture, whoever you are, you can get into cybersecurity, but you need to be guided accordingly so that you know how you are going to start it and how you are going to grow around it. So we'll be having such sessions. And of course, someone else might ask, how can someone be invest in cybersecurity such that you may not necessarily be the one providing the services, but you provide some sort of like investment to empower those who are providing. So this is the best time to consider such things, considering that the government is now alert when it comes to these things. They have already come up with the different frameworks and laws to be able to empower and grow this as an industry. And with that, we appreciate. Thank you very much. For those who are willing to join, you can check out the link that we have shared on the Zoom chat. Then you can join the group. Basically, the group is just to share the tips to be able to ensure that you are safe. You as an individual and also as an SME. Also, if you are interested to be able to be considered either for cyber awareness, is a free package for your people where you work. You can reach out. We'll give out the email. You can reach out and you are going to consider it. So next Thursday, we shall be sharing a poster and a link. So we will still meet here. And who knows, we might have a guest who might have something to offer us. With that, thank you very much. Enjoy your evening and God bless you for making time. God bless you. God bless Ken.
Thank you, and good night.